Why I became a theater professor was because I took a class in a community college later in one time, and I had this one theater professor who really, Dr. Lerner, and she really encouraged all the students. She had this sort of life about her, that she was happy and willing to give what she loved to share, and she was sharing it as opposed to teaching it or telling me, talking to me. And from there I said, hey, I can do this. I kind of like it. It's something that I love. I really do love theater because it's a way I get to communicate with people and talk to everybody on their level, on my level. It's all the same. So it was a good place for me to commune with all my students. So, I mean, working as a theater teacher, I think that's where I started more directing first. And I realized, hey, it's a very similar thing, directing a play, working with my students. And for me, it's to watch somebody encourage people and watch people grow and watch people come out of their shell. That's what really makes it for me. I enjoy watching some shy person start off being not, you mentioned earlier about being on stage and being alone standing on stage. Somebody's not even able to get up stage, but then eventually they get the courage to come up and then eventually share their story. And that's to me what it is. It's storytelling, live storytelling. And that's what I love about theater. And that's what I became, that if I was able to encourage. And I love encouraging people, watching them grow. How I like to teach is put people in first I want to create a safe environment. Actually not create one, I want to establish one. Allowing students to feel safe and open. Because I always say there's that an acronym of HOW, honesty, openness, and willingness. And that's how a performer could work best, how a student can learn. So if I get them in the state of safetyness, of being able to encourage them to be open. And that's, I like to work that way. And if they're open and they're willing, you'll find the imagination will explore and go further. So we have an acting class that we go, it's an intro to acting. And we also starting a new one called Intro to Playwriting, which also gets people developing their mind and writing. We have a intro to theater, which gives people who may not, students who come into the LMU, they may not really want to be sure about theater or even experience it. So we give them a taste of all aspects of theater. Students really, especially the ones that I worked with, if anything, they find a voice of their own and an ability to articulate and express their own feelings and their views. Get the courage to stand up and look somebody in the eye and be that honest and openness and willingness and truthful, so it makes them better workers at work. I know actors who then have to wait tables. Yeah, they do very well because they know how to take an order, but also working in a business sense. They know how to organize their thoughts. They know how to articulate what their needs are. They know how to express feelings honestly, and as opposed to not being able to express and holding things in. So they're able to speak up for themselves. They get the encouragement and feel that sort of confidence that nobody else will, as well as doing all that psychological work within the character study. One becomes, I would say, will have a stronger emotional, availability. And that is incredible, what people, as well to read other people's emotions and be able to communicate. And that's the main thing, communication. Theater is, again, it's the one art, it's a collaborative art. It's the only art that's made of every single other art. It's the only art that has to be live all the time, and it has to have an audience. So it can never be an individual thing, ever. But if working with an individual actor, that's something different. It's still two people. It's always about a sort of exchanging of energy. That's what theater is, an exchange of energy, how we communicate. Am I being received by the audience? Am I being received by my fellow actor? Am I being received by my higher power, whoever I'm talking to in the monologue? It's all that. It's all a sort of give and take. It's, we call it like playing the piano. I hit the keys go out, they make a sound, they go out. And that's what it is. So theater to me, that's why I love theater so much. It is the one that's so expressive. And it's so, I call it the breathing art. I know other performers, singers may say, well, I do too. But the difference is it really is to be received. And it has to be because it's an exchange of energy. We encourage all students to audition. And this past one, we had 3 freshmen that were cast in the piece that we did with 12 Angry Jurors. We accept and want everybody, encourage everybody to come be part of it. It's part of the community. It creates a community.